A note from Benjamin Graham by Jason Zweig. Who was Benjamin Graham and why should you listen to him? Graham was not only of the best investor who ever lived, he was also great practical investment thinker of all time. Before Graham, many managers behaved much like a medieval guild, guided largely by superstition, guesswork, and arcane rituals. Graham's security analysis was the textbook that transferred this musty circle into a modern profession. And The Intelligent Investor is the first book ever to describe, for individual investors, the emotional framework analytical tools that are essential to finance success. It remains the single best book on investing ever written for the general public. The Intelligent Investor was the first book, and I read when I joined Forbes magazine as a cub reporter in 1987. And I was struck by Graham certainly the sooner or later, and our bull marks must end badly. That October US stocks suffered their worst one day crash in history, and I was hooked. Today, after the wild bull market of the late 1990s and the brutal bear market that began in early 2000, the intelligent investor reads more prophetically than ever. Graham came by his science that hard way, by feeling firsthand the anguish of financial loss and by studying for decades the history and the psychology of the market. He was born Benjamin Grosbaum on May 9, 1894 in London. His father was a dealer in China dishes and figurines. The family moved to New York when Ben was a year old. At first, they lived the good life with a maid and a cook and a French governess on Upper Fifth Avenue. But Ben's father died in 1903. The business flattered, and the family slid haltingly into poverty. Ben's mother turned their home into a boarding house, then borrowing money to trade stocks on the margin. She was wiped out in the crash of 1907. For the rest of his life, Ben would recall the humiliation of cashing a check for his mother and hearing the bank teller ask, "Is the Dorothy Grossbaum good for $5?" Fortunately, Graham won a scholarship at Columbia, where his brilliance burst into full flower. He graduated in 1914, second in his class. Before the end of Grass' final semester, three departments English, philosophy, and mathematics asked him to join the faculty. He was all of 20 years old. Instead of